Joan Kennedy has died. First wife of Senator Edward Kennedy. She's gone, okay? She's gone at age 89 years old. Ted Kennedy was a, lawyer and former member of the United States Senate. Politician from Massachusetts who served as a member of the United States Senate from 1962 until his death in 2009, a member of the Democratic Party and the prominent Kennedy family, the second most senior member of the Senate when he died. Ted Kennedy was the younger brother of President John F. Kennedy. Ted was the ninth and youngest child born to Joseph and Rose Kennedy. And man, Ted Kennedy's he died in 2009. That's like 29, right? Look, Joan Bennett Kennedy dies now. Her birthday is 2/9. The second day of the ninth month. When she was married to Ted Kennedy and he died in 2009, like 29. Right? So, the former wife of Senator Edward M. Kennedy, who goes by Ted Kennedy, who endured a troubled marriage marked by family tragedies, her husband's infidelities, and her own decades-long struggles with alcoholism and mental health. So she died Wednesday at age 89. The former Joan Bennett, one of the last remaining members of a family generation that included President John F. Kennedy, was a model and classically trained pianist when she married Ted in 1958. Their lives would change unimaginably over the next decade and a half. Brother-in-law John F. Kennedy elected president in 1960 and assassinated 3 years later. So we get that assassination theme still lingering in the air. Charlie Kirk, they said, was assassinated, okay, on October 9th, not long ago. And remember, we had the Tupac Shakur death anniversary. They said he was assassinated in 1996. So that anniversary not long ago. And then remember Asada Shakur, his godmother, died right around his death anniversary recently. Asada assassinated. So now this isn't a coincidence. Now we get a JFK connection, and JFK was assassinated. And, that was a big story of its time, right? So, not a coincidence. Brother-in-law Robert F. Kennedy served as Attorney General under JFK, was elected to the U.S. Senate in 1964, and assassinated while seeking the presidency. So you get that as well, right? I mean, isn't that wild? And here's Robert F. Kennedy right here. Look, he has the Joe Biden birthday. So, I mean, come on, right? He's got the Joe Biden birthday, November 20th. So he was assassinated as well. Assassinated on 6/6. All of these presidents, all of these politicians are all like, they all got relations to each other, I think. Even this guy was assassinated 8 days before Donald Trump's birthday. And look at this. His birthday is 2 days before the John F. Kennedy assassination. You see? So, come on, right? Her husband was elected to the U.S. Senate and became among the country's most respected legislators, despite initial misgivings that he was capitalizing on his family connections. But Ted Kennedy also lived through scandals of his own making. In 1969, the car he was driving plunged off a bridge on Chappaquiddick Island, killing his young female passenger, Mary Jo Kopechny. I mean, that makes me think of Joe Biden even. And Joe Biden, there was an accident where his family died. Okay? The first wife of Joe Biden, I mean, she died in a car crash with their 1-year-old daughter, Naomi. Their two sons, Bo and Hunter, were injured but survived the incident. I mean, come on, right? And look, when we go over here, is that picture? Oh, that picture doesn't pop up anymore. Man, I gotta, let's see. There was another picture I wanted to show you. Let's see if I can get it to pop up over here. It's here it is right here. Look, doesn't this look like Jackie Onassis and JFK right here, right before JFK got assassinated? Doesn't that kind of make you think of it? Maybe that may be a stretch. Let me know if anybody's out there. I want to know, okay? What do you think about that?
New this midday, one of the last surviving members of Camelot, Joan Kennedy, has died. Kennedy is the ex-wife of the late Senator Edward Kennedy and a mental health advocate. She married into the Kennedy clan, campaigning for brothers-in-law John and Robert Kennedy Sr. and her husband Ted when they all ran for president. Joan also stood by her husband during the Chappaquiddick scandal when the car he was driving plunged off a bridge, killing his female passenger. The two later divorced in 1982. Joan Kennedy was 89 years old.
All right, so there's a lot going on here with this family. Okay, a lot going on here with this family. Now look at right here. You can see, look at the full name here. Joan Bennett Kennedy. Or, excuse me, Virginia Joan Kennedy. You could see Joan Kennedy's full birth name. Look at that 108. And she died 108, the 10th month and the 8th day, October 8th. And man, we're talking about Joe Biden, huh? And Joe Biden's full name also equals 108. So, when we go on the fly like that, you can't deny it. You can't deny that when we go on the fly like that. You see that 108 right there with that Joe Biden connection, and then we get a connection with a car crash and family dying. And Joe Biden was a member of the Senate as well. And I think that crash happened right before he hit the Senate. So, I mean, that's wild, isn't it? So, I'm kind of like learning a little bit here or becoming more familiar a little bit here as we go forward, on top of what I already know here. It just proves everything is a script, everything is a script with the language, man. I don't think you can necessarily blame characters for a fake world. Maybe if they make a decision to be a part of something deceiving, yes, right? But I mean, technically, we all have flaws. I mean, but we're talking about we're living in a fake world here. You can't get mad at Joe Biden, or you know what I mean? Like, because you don't like his character role that he's playing. You know what I mean? So this needs to go a little bit deeper. I mean, it's a fake world we're living in, and this is obviously these stories are obviously pumped out by the language and by the numbers, right? These are just fake, like recycled stories. You know, people may be really suffering tragedies, but I don't think it's the characters who are responsible for it, to be honest. I mean, this character, Joan Bennett Kennedy, so first wife of Ted Kennedy, who is Edward Kennedy but goes by Ted, I guess, brother of JFK, and this all these characters of the Kennedy family, right? But look, she dies 36 days after her birthday when she was born in 36, and her last birthday had 36 date numerology. Even Virginia Joan Kennedy has 306 in the reverse cipher, like 36. In 92, she published a guide to classical music and later became associated with mental health awareness, drawing public attention to addiction and recovery through her own experiences. 92, that's her birthday, September 2nd, 92. Remember, her husband died in 2009, like the second day of the ninth month. Trump equals 29. She died at 89. Her husband's full name equals 89 in reverse reduction. Edward Moore Kennedy. And Trump equals 25 as well. She's dead in 25. We just had 89's hit with Taylor Swift and her story, this theatrical release of hers, um, related to her album release, but this kind of visual theatrical experience, 89 minutes. When the album releases on the day leaving 89 years or 89 days in the year. And she's born in 89. Now Joan Bennett Kennedy dies at 89 and her husband's name equals 89. And you get another K here, Travis Kelce, synced up with Taylor Swift, right? His birthday just hit 3 days before this death of Joan Kennedy, and you get the Kelce K, and he's synced up with Taylor Swift. But Kelce, you get the K, Kennedy K, Kelce, Kennedy. Remember the Duchess of Kent died as well, known for devotion to music. She died at 92. Devotion to music and consoling Wimbledon losers, dies at 92. The Duchess of Kent. K. Kent like Kennedy. She dies at 92, and that's the Joan Kennedy birthday, 9-2. Come on, right? And who was the Duchess of Kent married to? So look, Prince Edward, Duke of Kent. Come on. When that's Ted Kennedy's name, Edward, look at it, like, for real, right? Come on, right? They're probably the same damn lady. And she died September 4th. Here's the Duchess of Kent. There's the Duchess of Kent right there. And we get Joan Kennedy right there. So these characters they're all like related. They're all related. For real. Duchess of Kent. That's my opinion. You could say it's my opinion. Here's the Duchess of Kent. Wow, they do look the same. Look, there's the Duchess of Kent right there. Trying to find this other picture. There's the Duchess of Kent, and here's Joan Kennedy right here. Damn, they do kind of look the same. Holy crap, man. Husband's name's Edward. Come on, man. There is a ton going on here with this script. Wow. Catherine, Duchess of Kent, has the same birthday as Joan Kennedy's his first wife is Joan Kennedy. Ted Kennedy's got the same birthday as the Duchess of Kent. God, come on, man. February 22nd. That is absolutely undeniable that this is a script. Kyle Conradi was trending. I said back then when I did the decode, it might have been what? It might have been like a couple of months now, or a month and a half, 2 months. You get the K's. I mentioned it back then. It sounds like Kennedy. Kyle Conradi. Kennedy. Charlie Kirk. Another K. Assassinated. Assassinated is connected. We went over that earlier.
All right, we have some sad news to share this morning. Joan Bennett Kennedy, the former wife of Senator Ted Kennedy, has passed away.
A family spokesperson saying she passed away in her sleep overnight. Kennedy was married to Ted Kennedy for 24 years and was the mother of his 3 children, Kara, Ted Jr., and Patrick. They divorced in 1982. She was a classical pianist, a music teacher, and an advocate for mental health and addiction services.
Gosh, man, this is so wild, man. So I guess she's just old and died because she's 89, right? Because I was reading the article and they don't say anything about it. How did Joan Kennedy die? See, they're just saying she died. That's it. Late Massachusetts Senator Ted Kennedy. She married into a dynasty. Right here, it's like, damn. It's wild, huh? And Joan B. Kennedy sounds like John F. Kennedy, too. See that right there? Joan B. Kennedy. John F. Kennedy. Right here. He's the 35th president, man. That was hitting in the Taylor Swift decode. Because Taylor equals 35. But yeah, this stuff's probably all like kind of centers. He's kind of like the centerpiece here. Here's this is the picture I was talking about here. The Kennedy assassination. You could see them in the car right there. And then this image here, I guess, of Ted and Joan, which is interesting right there. Right? So, man, I could probably go on for hours about this family, but it's not going to happen. Her death comes about a year after Ethel Kennedy, the wife of Senator Robert F. Kennedy, died at the age of 96. So, man, A lot of connections here. Here's Ethel Kennedy right here. Let me see if we get a birthday for this character. Oh, look. Yeah, she died October 10th, man. Jeez. So Joan Kennedy dies 2 days before the 1 year anniversary of Ethel Kennedy, Robert F. Kennedy's wife. Good God, man. Jeez, right? It's wild, man. I guess I highlighted that 107 there. 107 with Ted Kennedy equals 107. That number has been popping up. Remember, Lamar Jackson was trending with his hamstring injury. His birthday is 1-7. Ravens quarterback, if I remember correctly, Arthur Jones, who died, who won a Super Bowl with the Ravens, his full name equals 107. And how they originally listed he died, I remember during the video, I caught it on the fly in another article. It was something related to the heart, but that equaled 107 as well, how they put it in the article. Kill equals 17. Joan Bennett even has 177 like 17. Sen Edward Kennedy, that's how they put it with abbreviated 171. You get those same numbers in there. I mean, that's, jeez, man. So yeah, I said I can go on, but I'm not going to. Joan Kennedy, first wife of Senator Edward Kennedy, has died. Until next time, ouch.